Are you watching, all of you in Kathmandu, in Kirtipur? A dramatic night here could unfold for the warriors of Nepal, because they have bowled and fielded as if their lives depended on it. And we have a contest. Nepal are chasing 116. And of course they still are very much in contention for qualifying from Group D. South Africa have won 3 from 3, but if Nepal pick up 2 points tonight, they're above the Netherlands. And then on Sunday night they play Bangladesh here. Bit of swing from Janssen.
Yeah, Wilco, you talk about the people of Nepal at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's 3 or 3:15 in the morning in South Africa, and I think a lot of the South Africans will be glad they didn't stay up to watch that batting performance, because it wasn't the best. But they've got 115 on the board, and they've got to make it count. They've got to make every run very difficult to accumulate for Nepal. They will extract a lot of bounce, and they'll get the spin of Shamsi and probably mark him to get the ball to hold up and turn. But they really will have to deliver here now, the South Africans.
Seriously tall is Marco Janssen. He's way over 2 meters. He could probably have to duck going through a door in the hotel. Bangladesh here on Sunday night. This is Nepal. That's what they've got. They've got to get tonight done first. Tonight is the business for Nepal. They've had some wonderful nights in Kirtipur, which is just about 5 k's from the city of Kathmandu, but this could be one of their greatest. Oh, he drags it inside edge. It beats Quinton de Kock, and it's gone for 4.
Just the start Nepal want. Bertel, fresh off taking a couple of wickets, has walked out and he's played the straight drive behind the wicketkeeper. Still in the V, Wilco. And they'll take any runs they can to try and knock off this total. Will Nepal?
Yeah, similar. South Africa's first boundary came in a similar vein. It was Quinton de Kock who got an inside edge and went away to the fence. And the right-handed Bertel being the man who gets the inside edge.
Herschel Bertel has a century on his CB in T20Is. Swing again from Marco Janssen. That's the shape that the left arm pace bowler wants. The ball coming back into the pads of the right-hander. That century was against the Philippines in Muscat in 2022. He's also got 950s. Otniel Bartman bowls medium fast. Could be a key component for South Africa tonight. They've got Anrich Nochir, Kagiso Rabada.
Yeah, Stubbs is off the field at the moment. He was the last man at the crease, so maybe just taking a little bit extra time to get on. Ryan Rickleton is the 12th man. He's doing fielding in the first over.
This field has got a leg slip and an orthodox slip. Asif Sheikh is the young batter for Nepal. He's just 22 years of age. First over's gone, 6 on the board.
Wide rate of 5.79 to the over, and they've started pretty well. 6 without loss.
What? What am I doing? Well, some of the Nepal fans, they have supported, and a very pensive and reflective Roddy Istwick. Roddy Istwick has been the West Indies bowling coach, a wonderful cricketer in his time, and here he is helping Nepal in this T20 World Cup campaign. Right, Anrich Nokia needs 3 wickets for the most wickets for South Africa in this tournament. Here's Kagiso, KG. He'll slip a couple past the right-handers. He gets that natural shape, and it looks so easy. Yeah, just a couple of milestones. Herschel Bertel needs 4 sixes. Goodness me, they'll be handy if he hits 4 tonight for 50. Quinton de Kock needs 3 dismissals for 100 in T20Is. Struggle tonight with the bat, Quinton. He really did. It's a pitch where you've got to work hard every ball and work things out, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And what would serve South Africa well is that they've just come off probably the most difficult wickets they would have played on in a long time in Nassau and New York. So they know how to defend low totals. They've been involved in a bunch of smaller scoring games.
Oh, it's good shape again. And I like this. Maybe South Africa might consider putting a second slip for this over. The ball is brand new.
Yeah, the extra cover man could come out just for an over or two, or ball or two, I should say. In this version of the game is shortened. You don't really have a lot of a time to attack, so you use one or two balls. The second slip might be an area that KG could be interested in.
Well, now he's running away from it, not because he's scared, but he's trying to find a method here to deal with this bouncing delivery.
Yeah, also the shape from Kagiso Rabada. We haven't really seen much of that throughout the tournament. He's not a massive exponent of swing bowling, KG, but he's getting the ball to move tonight. There's a breeze that's coming over his right shoulder that's maybe assisting that movement through the air. But he is beating the bat and trying to bring that slip Corden and Quinton de Kock into play.
It's gone straight up in the air. Kagiso says, I'll take it, I'll have it. Oh my goodness. Kagiso on a night of errors. There's another one for South Africa.
Yeah, that would have been the perfect start for Rabada. 4-dot deliveries. He would have had his fifth plus a wicket. It did steeple up in the air. I think it's gone almost as high as the pylons here at the ground. And he called early. He said, my ball. He tried to set himself, but was just moving at that last point. Actually barely gets his hands on it. Goes between the hands and makes contact with the chest or the stomach. Unfortunately for South Africa, that's not the first.
This time slashes him over cover point for 4 to add injury to insult. 2 overs gone, 10 for no wicket.
Yeah, that's nicely played. And Rabada will be fuming. He could have had one with one delivery to go bowling and a new batter. Instead, the catch goes down and he offers up a little bit of width and he goes away to the fence.
On the board, here's Marco Jansen. Oh, beautiful shape, great shape. Marco Jansen, not just that he's swinging it, but he's so tall, you have to work out bounce and swing.
Yeah, and something that might just work against him, to be honest with you. He has the drop. As we look at KG, he called early, he said, my ball, please. And then hardly laid a hand on it. This has gone straight down. His hands have missed it, closed too late. Hits the chest. It did go a mile in the sky, but at this level you'd expect those to be caught.
Oh, well, that off stump is very much in focus for Marco Jansen here. He's swinging the ball back extravagantly here.
Yeah, this is what Marco Jansen does really well. Just brings the ball back into the right-handers, and with his extra height he does get that extra bit of bounce, so he might have to go a touch fuller than he's accustomed to, and with the extra bounce that this wicket has got, it might just serve against him tonight a little bit, but he's got those guys in catching positions. He's got a leg slip and a first slip. He could use those fielders really well.
The preparation for these pitches at Arnos Vale has been over a decade since we've had international cricket here, but a lot of time and money and effort has been spent on these pitches, and tonight it was a challenge for the Proteas. Oh, that's a great take. Quinton de Kock.
Yeah, Bertel went early there, and I think that caused the adjustment from Marco Jansen. He's been really good. He's gone for 6 runs, but was one fortunate boundary. That's the bounce he expresses. Quinton de Kock having to climb the ladder to make sure he got a mitt on that one.
A couple of changes going on in the field here. There's arms waving everywhere. Heinrich Klaassen is at leg slip, and Aidan Markram's at mid-off. So Heinrich Klaassen he's trying to say to Aidan, we have to move someone else here.
Yeah, the idea was to bring fine leg up and put Kikita Rabada at a short 45 and square leg back, but I think they forgot that Heinrich Klaassen was at leg slip. So you don't want 2 people, one leg slip and one leg gully. And they decided to go back to the normal strategy.
Well bowled, he's going to find that edge soon. You feel that something's going to happen. He's gone through that defence so many times of Bertel.
They like to have a leg slip for Marco Jansen because of the bounce he extracts out of most surfaces, and we've seen in test matches, one-day internationals, he often gets people caught down the leg side, either to the keeper or in that leg slip position. But as I say that, they decide to move him out, and they have gone back to the field where square leg is back on the fence. Rabada comes into short 45, and there's a man at short mid-wicket who's very square. That's Heinrich Klaassen.
This time he goes for the ramp and he gets 4. He gets 6. It's 6 all the way for Bertel. 3 gone, 16 for no wicket.
This is brilliant. This is a real cricket awareness. They go to change the field, and he just banks on the fact that Jansen probably won't go full, probably won't try and hit his stumps. He goes across early and executes brilliantly. 65 metres, in no danger there whatsoever, in full control. And Nepal have got themselves to 16 without any damage.
For no wicket. That was exactly what South Africa were after 3 overs. We're going to see Otniel Bartman, who's a recent selection in this South African side.
There's his figures: 4 matches, 5 wickets. He got 4 for 11 in his first encounter in New York. A brilliant performance by him.
Oh, it's close, but it might be going down. Just did a bit, yeah. You see Otniel Bartman just saying, do you think it went down? Missing leg stump.
Yeah, probably the one South African bowler that will challenge the stumps. He's going to pitch it up. His natural length is to hit the top of off stump, which I think will make it difficult for the Nepalese batters. And this is the 6 from the last over. South Africa changing the field. Probably not really having to change the field, to be honest with you, but they changed it anyway, brought fine leg up, and there was a fantastic shot by Bertel to go for 6.
It's leg side, it's gone down that leg side from Bartman. Yeah, 4 for 11 against the Netherlands, Sean, on that difficult pitch just on June the 7th.
Yeah, our local competition, the SA20, he was brilliant and really forced his way into the team. Dale, what were you chatting to him about? Any advice or just catching him?
I was asking him if he went snorkeling, and he said he's not really a good swimmer. So I said to him, don't worry, you can wear a life jacket. It's basically the conversation that we're having over there. But I also did say that if he continues bowling the way that he bowls, it's a beautiful delivery that South Africa could consider him one day as a test bowler, because I think that the lengths that he bowls and the lines that he bowls, he's always challenging the stumps. And you can see his length is generally a slightly fuller length to all the others, Bartman being the fullest of all of the bowlers so far. Nokia deciding to bowl shorter. He's wanted to bowl more aggressively this tournament, and it's worked well for him, so I'm excited to see what he'll do tonight. But Bartman right now is the challenge for the Nepal batters. Great shot.
Goodness, that's a good shot. He is picked up, Bartman, here with such ease.
Yeah, there's been a few planned misses and balls missing the inside edge, outside edge. nearly been tracked in front, but in between that there's been some fantastic shots by this opening pair. And there's another example. See if getting into position early and just using his wrist, whooping it away. One bounce and into the boundary. Takes it off, I think. Off stump, might have made contact with the top of off, so nothing really wrong with that delivery. Just a fantastic shot.
Again, look at that movement that Bartman is getting here off the pitch. You can just see the release points. Naturally, Marco Jansen is way over the 2-meter mark because he's the tallest of the lot. Rabada, again, Nortje just dips a little bit. And Bartman, that's the release points of the South African seamers to contend with that different bounce that Dale Steyn has been talking about. Looks to make a bit of room, can't get the run. 4 gone, 20 for no wicket. Here at Arnos Vale, it's St. Vincent and the Grenadines, South Africa, who have qualified for the Super 8s, the second round, but they've been reduced to 115 for 7. And Nepal have made a great start. They're chasing 116. Could be a big party night tonight. Oh, it's party time. They're primed. They're dressed for the occasion. Could be Nepal's night. Jansen. Now that's fortuitous, but it's runs. It's a difficult pitch. The Ballon is a difficult pitch for the Cock.
Yeah, Nepal will be counting down every run. It doesn't matter how it comes. Inside edge, outside edge, buys. Look at that. That ball, it pitched and the seam just stayed up. Similar to the way that a Duke would do in England in a test match. Makes it really difficult as a wicketkeeper. But Nepal won't moan. They'll take every run they can.
Bowled. Now, virtually every ball that Marco Jansen has bowled has been an in-swinger to the right-hander. But have a look at this field here. He's got a first slip, Reza Hendricks. And then he's got a gully. Almost like a backward point and a point. You've got 4 fielders and a third, 5 behind square, offside. Klaasen, he's in that gully position. Slightly surprised, and that's because he's been swinging it into the right-hander. Now that field would suggest it's going to maybe change his trajectory.
Just the extra bounce that Marco Jansen gets, you would think that if the Nepalese batters decide to have a hoik or go at it, the ball might go in that area. Very difficult to hit Marco Jansen with his bounce over square leg, so I think it's important that he keeps square leg up and fine leg back.
Followed him. You saw him backing away and Jansen just followed Bertel. Well, Nepal have never beaten a full member nation in international cricket. They did beat Afghanistan in 2014, but at that time Afghanistan didn't have test status. So could they be here on the brink of an historic night in this World Cup? 50% win percentage in the World Cup for Nepal. Asif Sheikh on strike. Flicks it round leg side and he'll get one. for the South Africans, Sean. They got so much bowling.
Yeah, they have. I mean, they haven't introduced Nokia as yet, and he'll have a big impact. You would think Shamsi, from what we saw from the Nepal bowlers, that they will definitely get some assistance and purchase. They've got the option of Aiden Markram to bowl some off spin. But they would love an early wicket just to try and settle things down.
No run there, not through that cauldron. 5 overs gone, Nepal, 26 for no wicket.
A runner ball for Nepal will get them home. Good take again from Quinton de Kock. The one short ball for the over.
It's a good start. It's a good reply from Nepal. Don't forget that, yes, there was an opportunity for South Africa to pick up a wicket. Kagiso Rabada calling it for the catch and not even laying a hand close to the ball.
It's a lovely pick-up off his toes by Asif Sheikh. It's good batting.
Wonderful shot here. Bartman just straying a little bit in his line, going a bit straight here. Getting rid of his bounce of the first ball. Great shot off his legs. And every run, Nepal, they believe more. The game is in the balance. South Africa are desperate for a wicket, but this is a great little opening stand for Nepal right now.
Where is it going to come from, the wickets? Who's going to be the one to pick up the first one?
Lovely shot up on his toes by Asif Sheikh.
It's probably one area where South Africa can look to remove a fielder is in that extra cover area. With the extra bounce and the length that they bowl, it's difficult to hit the ball through extra cover, whereas right now Nepal batters are getting inside the line, using the pace of the ball. They can use potentially an extra man on the leg side. Some of the fans are not enjoying it as much as others.
They've run a leg by. Bartman was convinced it was LBW, but it looked a bit high to me, and Joel Wilson agrees. Well, there's Nixon McLean, the former West Indies fast bowler, who ended up batting left-handed in his cricketing days. And the reason he batted left-handed was that when he was young, he used to bat right-handed, and all the windows were on the leg side. So he switched round to bat left-handed so he wouldn't end up hitting the ball against the windows.
I'm just wondering when Markram is going to introduce spin here. We haven't seen spin so far. And we've seen what spinners did when South Africa were batting. Perhaps they could have introduced someone like Tabriz Shamsi earlier on inside the power play, because there's only one delivery left in this over, which will complete the power play. And if they don't pick up a wicket, they're well placed, Nepal.
Scampered single, it's the end of the power play. Nepal on target at the moment, 32 without loss. Of course, we have to remember that if South Africa do lose tonight, it doesn't affect them qualifying for the next stage, but it'll be mighty embarrassing if they do go down to defeat, I'm sure.
Yeah, and they haven't exactly gotten their batters off to the start that they would like right now. Every batter that I've seen in the top order of the South African lineup, if they get out, they kind of look at the pitch as if to say, when is things going to turn in my way? And hopefully, regardless of this game, by the time they get to Antigua, things will start to settle more in the batter's favour. But the bowlers have really enjoyed it so far, and South Africa's batting has been the struggle that they've had so far this tournament.
Key moment in this match, you feel now. Anrich Nortje into the attack, the extra pace that he can provide. Now, in April and May, Nepal played against West Indies A, and they did play against some extra pace. Obaid McCoy, O'Shane Thomas were playing. This was Nepal's effort during the power play, a very solid one too.
Yeah, I mentioned about the spinners, Dalston. Remember, Kashyap Maharaj is not in the 11. So it's important that whenever you pick up a side, then you got to find the bowlers to do the job that they've been asked for.
I like this change of field by South Africa. They've got basically a backstop. Marco Jansen, this is a look at the batting so far in the power play. Nepal were 32 without loss after that first 6, and this is the one opportunity South Africa needed. Drop catch by KG, and the very next ball slashed over extra cover for 4, and that was a great shot by Bertel, using the pace of extra bounce of Marco Jansen. It's a fantastic opening partnership right now, and every run that they score, they put South Africa under pressure. Now there's an interesting field placement that we've got. We've got Marco Jansen essentially as a backstop. He'd be in a catching position, I would say. And one of the things that works in the bowler's favour, having this particular field against a team like Nepal, is because they're not familiar with the pace. They might be thinking, what is coming? What is Anrich Nortje going to do? Is it the short ball? Is it a length ball? Is it a Yorker? What is he going to do to utilise Marco Jansen at backup? And just actually foxing the batter and bluffing him with a slower ball, not even having a mid-on right now. Mid-on is almost in a half mid-on, half mid-wicket kind of position. And this starts to play a little bit with the batter's mind. This is Anrich Nortje, the most wickets for South Africa so far in this World Cup with 8. Faisalak Faruqi has been fantastic for Afghanistan with 12.
And Nortje just 2 wickets away from equaling Dale Steyn for most wickets in a T20 World Cup for South Africa. Have a look at this for pace. These are average speeds. Goodness me, lots of deliveries above 145 kilometres an hour. Great to see him back fit and firing. He had a tough time at the IPL, and that was after a long period out through injury. It's off the glove, and there's Marco Jansen into play. The end of the over, a fiery one, 34 without loss.
I think the South African bowlers will need to realize that they need to test them with some short pitch deliveries. Give them some chin music. Because they do struggle. We saw Bangladesh struggling against short pitch deliveries.
A few smiles there among South African supporters and family. And now South Africa's top wicket taker in 2020 internationals into the attack. Tabraiz Shamsi, it's his first game of the tournament. 78 wickets he's taken in total.
Yeah, because they're going to introduce Shamsi, but from what we saw in the first innings, you would think he would go really well because of his turn. It was difficult to read. It was bouncing and gripping. But then in saying that, Nepal have grown up playing spin, haven't they? I mean, so you would think that they'd be more comfortable against the likes of Shamsi than they would against the fast bowlers. But I suppose time will tell. It's going to be a vital introduction, this.
South Africa in between overs there, just got their first warning this evening for taking more than 60 seconds between overs, and a reminder that if they do that on 3 occasions, on that 3rd occasion they'll be penalised 5 penalty runs. We saw that in the USA-India game. Yeah! Bowled! Shamsi strikes with just his 2nd ball. Kushal Birtle tried to improvise, and it's been the death of him.
Yeah, you do wonder if this was the right option. I haven't seen much of Birtle, so I don't know if this is a strength of his, but he got 13 of 21 deliveries and thought he could just thread it through. He gets the inside, drags it onto his own stump, so maybe he'll class himself as unlucky. But we were saying it's going to be a big moment with the introduction of South Africa's spinner, and it's proved to be exactly that. 2 deliveries in, Shamsi's picked up his first. Birtle goes for 13, 35 for 1.
Captain Rohit Podol in at number 3. His highest score there, 61. That was against Mongolia in the Asian Games in September of last year in China. What can he produce this evening? He's their star batter, and this is the reason why he's here.
A bad option, not the right one. Trying to play the reverse, dragging it back onto the stumps.
Bowled! That's a big wicket. Not a great shot, you have to say. But all of a sudden, Tabriz Shamsi is turning this match on its head.
Well, I did mention earlier on that South Africa needs to introduce Tabriz Shamsi as quickly as possible. And would you believe it? He's picked up not 1, but he's now picked up a 2nd wicket in his very first over. Bit of a turn. Big expansive drive through the offside. Creates that gap between the bat and the pad. The skipper goes. Rohit goes for naught. It's 35 for 2.
Anil Shah, the new batsman. All 9 wickets in this match now have fallen to spin.
Yeah, Murgaji gave him a nice big build-up, but unfortunately that was kind of a loose shot, wasn't it, in his 2nd delivery. It was kind of a no-man's area shot. He wasn't forward, wasn't back, wasn't playing with a straight bat or a horizontal bat. He was just trying to force the issue, and he's got time. He can have a look, get himself in, but not to be for the captain.
Beautifully timed shot by Shah to get off the mark. He'll keep the strike. Nepal 36 for 2.
Yeah, in the build-up to the World Cup, there was a lot of talk about some of the surfaces that you'd get in the West Indies and how they could be conducive to spin bowling. India ended up picking 4 in their squad, thinking that that would be the case, and we've seen an example of what spin can do in the Caribbean here this evening. As you mentioned, 9 of the wickets that have fallen have all gone to spin. So will we see Aidan Markram introduce himself? Probably can't be long around the corner before he has a look, even if it's just for an over.
Promising start for Nepal in that last over. Double wicket blow set them back on their heels. Saab back on his heels there as well, forced back by the pace of Nokia.
Yes, a disappointing aspect for Nepal is that once their openers put on 35 without losing a wicket, they lost one, and all of a sudden the skipper comes in and played that really poor shot selection, trying to drive through the offside on the square of the wicket of a ball which is turning into the right-hander. Not the right option.
Bunted into the onside and timed pretty well, actually. I thought initially he just clothed it, but no, that was a terrific shot.
Yeah, it was indeed from Saha. He was absolutely brilliant. Got into position early. I mean, it's pretty predictable, the game plan from the South Africans. It's going to be back of a length or shorter than that. Aidan Markram, who was in the leg mid-wicket short area, wasn't anywhere near straight, so there's nothing that's going to be over-pitched in order to be hit straight down the ground. He was onto it in a flash and beautifully executed.
Let's have a look at those 2 wickets in the last over.
The first one trying to play the reverse, and that was a poor shot. The skipper, one who's been among the runs in the recent past. And if you want to see the short ball bowled to a batter, I think he needs to just get it a little bit higher, because the last time when he bowled a short ball, it was waist high. So it's easy for the batter to pull it or hook it.
Anil Saab made his T20 international debut for Nepal back in 2018 at Lord's against the Netherlands, but then he had to wait another 6 years before he got another opportunity in this format. He's been selected off the back of a strong performance in one-day international cricket, including an unbeaten 100 against Canada. As you can see, very much in its infancy, his T20I career. That's quick, and that's hurt.
Yeah, look at the speeds of the 149, 146, 149, and then that wonderful slow ball out the back of the hand. The delivery before from Nokia was at 117, and then this last one 145. So he's got some gas, and he's got the ability to rush any batter in world cricket, as Andrik Nokia. You would just be hoping that at some stage here this evening it rewards him with a wicket.
Slower ball down the leg side as well. It's a joy to see Nokia doing as well as this, because he really did it tough in the IPL. He went all round India, not only travelling with his team but also with the ball. He's only conceded 3 boundaries in this entire tournament so far.
Yeah, he really struggled. He was out for a long period with a stress fracture of the back, so only really reintroduced himself into competitive cricket in the IPL. And as you say, there was a few experiences he would have rather not been part of, but the length that he's bowled, particularly in New York, was very effective, and there's an example of a quick delivery to end. 42 for 2.
Well, there are 30 million people in Nepal. I'm sure most of them are awake at the moment watching this coverage. The ones who are not in Nepal have made their way here to St Vincent and the Grenadines. That's a wide. Just wondering, gentlemen, what you make of the South African body language out on the field at the moment.
Yeah, I think they're up for it. Nepal kind of let themselves down a little bit with some of their fielding, but in general, South Africa have been up for it just with that drop catch from Kahisa Rabada. It did steeple into the air, so it can be a difficult one to take. But I think they understand the importance. They're getting in tight, they're squeezing, make sure there's no easy singles.
Gosh, that was very full to sweep, and in the end, Massive Sheikh just managed to get some bat on it.
Yeah, he'll be difficult to pick for the Nepali batters. Again, so close. Could have created that gap between the bat and the pad. It's got a leg slip in place also because the ball is turning into the right-hander.
Towards long on, Janssen the fielder.
After the fall of that second wicket, the runs have dried up. They've not been managed to pick up a boundary there, and also not really looking to rotate strike.
Asking rate to start has now gone up to 6.79, and it is about rotating the strike. They're 47 for 2. South Africa were 56 for 1 at this point.
Just the single, the end of the over. 10 overs have gone, that'll be drinks. Nepal 48 for 2.
Well, a huge game unfolding here for Nepal, with South Africa stuttering their way to 115 for 7. All 7 wickets gone to spin. And for Nepal, well, they got off to a bright start using the pace of the South African quicks. The introduction of Tabraiz Shamsi is what brought those 2 wickets. Nepal, remember, have never beaten a test nation in any form of cricket. They're looking to keep alive their Super 8 hopes. Right, let's take you to a magic moment. South Africa have had a difficult time with the bat today. Go back to 2014, they were given a scare by the Netherlands.
There's a little nick there, yes there was. Oh, was there a little feather on that? Yes there was. Oh, he has got 5 foot. That's the best figures in this ICC World 2020.
Carved away, is it for 4? Now they'll have another look at that. Did it hit the sponge?
Yeah, I don't think it made contact with the sponge, but I think when Shamsi did the second parry back into the ground, I think his one hand might have been touching the boundary cushion. He's fine there initially, but it's the next one when his hand is touching and then he just tries to scoop it back in, and I think that's 4. His hand is basically over the line to where the initial line was, but we'll have to wait and see what the third umpire thinks.
Nepal fans, bated breath, but it is the boundary for them. Chasing these runs, they need more than 6.5 and over. Going back to that match we saw, Dale Steyn, you were one of those wickets that Hassan Malik took 5 for 19 that game against the Netherlands.
Yeah, they gave us a skin. Honestly, I feel like that's the game that started South Africa's rivalry with the Netherlands. We just got over the line with that game, winning by 6 runs. I actually dropped the catch when they were 9 down at Cow Corner, and I thought we had lost it, and I think Baron Hendricks picked up the wicket to win us the game.
Looking to try and loft it up and over. Yeah, Netherlands just falling short on that occasion. 139 all out they finished.
I feel like it would be a similar situation with Nepal tonight. I felt that night, Netherlands, they hadn't won a lot of cricket games before, and when it came down to the crunch, could they get over the line? They fell just short, and Nepal sitting in a similar situation tonight with a game where they can win. Can they get last few runs against the South African bowling lineup?
Lofted, safe. Nobody out there. Perfect placement. Tell you what, it is rare to see Nortje go for boundaries in this tournament.
Yeah, Shah plays this brilliantly, and the field that's set would tend to suggest he's not going to try and bowl any full deliveries. Markram at mid-wicket there is the only man who's in front of square on the leg side. There's no mid-on or long-on in position, so if he does get too full, too straight, he can just be helped on his way. And you can see the frustration, the disappointment at the length of the delivery and the fact that it was put away.
He's picked up 8 wickets across the tournament before this match. This is the first game where he's gone, well, where he's conceded more than 1 boundary. Dipendra Singh, Irie. Three for 21 for Nepal. It was Birtle with his 4 for 19 as well, but he's been such a performer for Nepal, one of their most experienced players. Times Nepal come up against 4 member nations in international cricket. This is the 12th and yet to win. And they are chasing a spot in Group 1 of the Super 8s. And these are the batters to come. But what can Asif and Saar do? They've got the support of the crowd behind them here, you feel, in St Vincent and the Grenadines. Wide signalled. Dug in too short. It's 11 runs off this over from Nortje. South Africa are not accustomed to this when he's bowling.
Yeah, just the start they wanted after the drinks break. First ball going for a boundary, followed by a wide, and then another boundary. So this is what Nepal need, and they're starting to believe. You just get the feeling the crowd is behind them. There's starting to be a little bit more field changes for the South Africans. It means that they're recognizing they've got a little less runs to play with right now. They've got to be slightly more cautious.
A single to end a really productive over from Nepal's point of view. 12 more for their total in the chase, 60 for 2. Partnership 25 from 24 balls. Yeah, that over's rather spoilt the figures of Anrich Nortje. Well, this is how Group D looks. Could yet be wide open. The chase here is for second place. South Africa are already through. Bangladesh and Netherlands, well, it felt as if yesterday's match between those two was a crunch one in terms of who would go through alongside South Africa, but Nepal get the points here. It is wide open. To make some room. So 6 teams are already through, we know that. And it's the spot in Group 1. India, Australia and Afghanistan would be the opponents. Imagine if it is Nepal to get through. Bangladesh and Netherlands still have a say. Up and over. Is there plenty on this? The diving attempt comes to nothing. Valuable runs again for Nepal. And Rabada, not much you could do about that.
Yeah, this is a wonderful strike from Saar. They've got KG Rabada positioned quite wide at long off. He's almost like a widest long off, heading towards the extra cover. He does get his hands to it, but unfortunately can't grab hold of it again. What a quality strike that was.
Nothing on it. Or do they think there is? Markham thinking about it. Should Shamsi have been brought into the attack earlier, given the impact that he has had when the pace was on, and Nepal batters were using the pace to good effect. Oh. First of all, let's just see this chance from Rabada. I mean, he covered the ground, Dale Steyn.
Yeah, I almost feel like he's slowed down over there just to give himself an ability to launch for the catch. And it's one of those catches that if you do take them, they are absolutely wonderful. Real TV catch. Shamsi throwing that one up and potential chance for 2. I think they'll get that very easily.
So Group 2 as well, England and Scotland, the 2 teams yet to be decided, but the big shock, the shock of the tournament, the qualification of the USA. A boundary save by Nortje. 12 overs gone, then 69 for 2. Now, South Africa weren't convinced there was anything on this. They didn't go for a review. Oh, the sound. Even those who are retired still need a little bit of assistance.
some stress in the coach's shoulders over there, just getting the physio to work it out a little bit. Nepal in a situation where they can win their first real big game, and there was a little edge over here that could have helped South Africa get over the line. Quinny de Kock didn't hear anything. Aiden Markham certainly thought that there was a little sound. And often you just feel like the captain can go with his gut feel. Looked at his wicketkeeper. His wicketkeeper said, no, thank you. And I didn't hear anything.
Hit hard. Could it be saved? No! Should have been saved. South Africa leaking some runs now.
We saw one earlier from Nepal. A little bit of a snake in the field out there. You would think South Africa being a good fielding team, these are the kind of things that you've got covered. KG Rabada coming in. Good shot. Pull. Nothing to it. Tristan Stubbs. Overrun it. Vital run South Africa can't afford to let slip through. But Nepal, they'll be counting every single one of these down.
And they've got that rate back to under 5.5 and over.
Well, I asked the question a bit earlier to Polly and Atta about the body language of the South Africans. It wasn't that I was being critical of them. It was just that I noticed when they came out into the field, there were lots of smiles. They were very positive. I'll tell you what, there's not many smiles out there now.
High. Has he got the distance on it though? It's a long chase back. It's just the one. Long chase back for the captain.
South Africa will feel these little chances not going their way, but you create your own luck. And we spoke about the body language of them. Maybe feeling like they're already through, that they're playing in a little half effort tonight, but that's not the case. You always should be giving your best.
Well, the Nepal fans are up and about after their match against the Netherlands. Shots emerged of fan parks back home in Nepal, and it was like a music festival, like Glastonbury, fans stretching back as far as you could see into the distance. It's early morning in Nepal, and they're dancing into the night here in St Vincent and the Grenadines. Oh, that's huge! Out of the park! It's one for the airport. Nepal are charging. The Rhinos becoming rampant.
That is a huge hit. We haven't seen a lot of sixes tonight, but that is out of the middle of the bat and out of the park. What a shot. KG Rabada coming back for his second over. And Nepal have said, we'll have a bit of you, KG Rabada. Thank you very much.
Asif Sheikh, 22 years old and wanting to be the hero for Nepal in creating some history at this T20 World Cup. And those who follow this team closely have been saying for a while they've got it in them to beat a test nation. And tonight they've been showing exactly why. Like a rocket.
Yeah, and really dominating, winning the toss, saying we'll have a bowl, thank you very much. Kind of the idea that I thought Nepal would go in for, bowl South Africa out for under 120, give themselves a chance. And that's exactly what they're doing right now. They're into third street. 36 to win.
Yeah, and they can relax, got the big hits. Take the single, 13 off the over, 82 for 2.
Let's put what's happening this evening into context here, because if Nepal win, what that does, it sets up an absolute blockbuster on Sunday, with Nepal and Bangladesh going head to head, with the winners going into the Super 8.
Yep, Nepal and Bangladesh play each other. Netherlands face at Sri Lanka. That's how this group winds up. We've got Aiden Markram bowling himself, so some more spin. Just wonder whether they could have bowled more spin earlier. But also, how easy will he be to hit? Now that these batters are settled, the partnership is 48 off 37, Dale.
Oh, it's a walk in the park, really. I mean, I feel like in this over, they might look to take on Aiden Markram. The ball seems to be playing a little bit better. The pitch seems to be playing a little bit better the second innings. And they're 2 hits away from really just taking this game and walking away with it right now from South Africa.
Just wonder if South Africa have missed a trick here. We saw how much the ball turned in that first innings. Maybe they were fixated by thinking, well, if we expose them to big pace, Nepal might not be used to that. But maybe the way to go was maybe give Markram a bowl earlier.
I tend to agree with you, Brian, that the sense of Nepal not being used to express pace, that South Africa might have just been able to blast out that top order. Well, in fact, they used the pace well. A 50 partnership up between these two now, well established, looking for that finish line. Big, it's high though, it's not long. And getting underneath it, Janssen takes a good tumbling catch. So Markram's spin again does get a wicket, it breaks up this stand. Is there still a stutter here for Nepal?
Yeah, just like we were talking about. Spin for the win. South Africa bringing on Aiden Markram, bringing on himself. South Africa desperate for a wicket. In the great hands of Marco Janssen, taking a good catch. We've seen a couple catches go down tonight from that dark sky. And that is the end of Anil Shah for 27. Nepal are now 85 for 3.
Well, Dipendra Singh Airi is known as a big hitter. He can be a finisher. He starred with the ball earlier, 3 for 21. Nepal need just 31 runs to win here. And then this team of players will go down in legend in Nepal cricketing history.
I just wonder whether this was the right approach. I know the modern way is to get after the bowlers, attack, 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 but less than a run a ball needed. A little bit of conservatism might have been the way to go. Well, in the end, the wicket for Markram, 86 for 3.
Oh, Monty Desai, the coach, looking a bit nervous in the dugout, probably because of this. Seen a number of catches dropped in the deep tonight. First time these floodlights are being used. They are nice and bright, but it's an adjustment for players who've been playing morning games. South Africa, all their day games in New York. Well, fabulous partnership for that third wicket. Broken now with the wicket of Anil Shah. They put on 50 of 40 balls, he and Asif. This would keep alive their hopes in the Super 8s. It would get them an historic win over a test-playing nation for the very first time. Five and over. They don't need to panic. Just keep cool heads in the chase.
Yeah, and that wicket may have just opened a door for South Africa, yeah. Runs have been difficult, boundaries have been difficult. We were talking about that previous over. You feel if Nepal had just batted normally for the next 2 overs, they could have scored 5 or 6, put South Africa deeper under pressure. Then South Africa have to make a play. They've got a wicket now, and Bartman is running in. The runs continue to flow.
Shamsi's only got one over left. He's picked up 2 wickets. He was the one who first of all put the brakes on in South Africa. When do you bowl him for his final over?
Yeah, South Africa will have to play that card soon, I feel. They're running out of runs to play with right now. With the fall of the previous wicket, they might have just bought themselves 2 overs here of seam just to get themselves back into the game.
Oh, he's nailed the gap. It's a good bit of work on the boundary. Tristan Stubbs going full stretch. And good teamwork as well there with Marco Jansen to get the ball back into the centre.
Yeah, great fielding this by Tristan Stubbs, making up for the error he made a couple overs ago. A little knuckleball this by Bartman. I'm just going to have a look at if this is a boundary, but I feel like he stopped it well inside the boundary rope. Marco Jansen backing him up there. This is exactly what South Africa need. Not a lot of runs to play with. Every run counts. 27 needed for Nepal now.
Quick single taken. Good from Nepal. 26 more needed. Well, Bertel opened the batting, but it was his bowling which really stole the show earlier. 4 for 19. And they were big scalps he took as well, including the big wicket of Heinrich Klaasen, who has been South Africa's 6-hitting machine in this World Cup.
Well, we just saw that package of Bertel's bowling, and one of the most exciting things from my perspective was that he was given the last over. That was a big call by Rohit Paudel, but it proved to be the correct one. A couple of wickets went down, and South Africa just couldn't get any momentum at the back end of their innings.
Yeah, I loved how he tossed the ball up too. He wasn't scared to give it air. The first ball went for 6, but after that picking up a couple of wickets.
5 overs to go. Nepal needing 25 for a piece of history. 91 for 3.
That is the equation for Nepal. 25 from 30 required. Here's Aidan Markram, the South African captain. Did he bring himself on too late tonight? What drama we have already had here in St. Vincent at the Arnisvale cricket ground. And this is how the phases have gone for Nepal. It's been tight. He's made some room. He looks to play that sweep, finds David Miller. Every ball, everyone is staring at this little white ball in this stadium.
Yeah, they're in the pound seats. 92 for 3. South Africa were 82 for 3. And just a case of knocking around 5 and over. They just need singles. They don't need to panic, and I'm sure a boundary or two will come at the back end. But I suppose the fact that they haven't had much experience of getting over the line in big encounters might just work against them. And that's what South Africa will be hoping, that they'll panic, they can pick up a few wickets and really try and strangle at the back end.
22 years of age, Asif Sheikh, and 24, that's all Dipendra Singh Ari is. 2 young batters. Works it round leg side.
Well, the one thing you have to say is Nepal are well prepared for this tournament. You know, they left Nepal in the first week of May after a series against West Indies A. They went to Florida, then they came here to St. Vincent to practice.
to just be careful. Every fielder is staring at this ball because there's, I'm not saying there's panic, but there's every run is like a bar of gold out there.
Yeah, this is brilliant from David Miller. Launches himself to get a hand and he returns it as quickly as possible. If it had gone to Quinn and the Cock, it might have been in business.
Finds the gap. It'll be one. It's another run towards the total. 95 for 3, 4 overs to go. Roddy Estwick, who's very much in the Nepal camp. He's helping them with their bowling, with their thinking. Nepal need 21 from 24. Nepal, their supporters have travelled thousands of miles to watch their heroes. Well, their heroes could be the kings of Kathmandu if they pull this off tonight. We saw them support for Nepal in Dallas in the first match they played. It was phenomenal. Here's Marco Jansen. We're going to get one quick run.
And I'm guessing the next over, Sean, we're going to see Tabriz Shamsi back in. That'll be the 18th. And he'll need to bowl from this end, the commentary box end of this Arnos Vale, because that will mean the right-handers will be hitting into the wind when they're hitting leg side.
Yeah, he's got one left, and I believe after the way he's bowled 2 for 17 that he has to be reintroduced to have a big over, try and pick up a wicket, try and make sure that there's no runs accumulated. I think his over will be vitally important in this encounter.
I think you might have got something on that. Bat pad.
I think it was just the leading edge. It's popped up into no man's land, landed safely. Another run. Every run has been applauded by the dugout.
Well, this is just an extraordinary chase. Don't forget that Bangladesh against South Africa held their nerve in that tight chase. This is very tight. 19 from 22 required. Squirts one out to deep point for one. They don't mind getting these in singles, but a couple of boundaries would certainly light up that dugout.
This is the way they need to go about it. Nothing extravagant. There's no need to do anything silly. There are gaps in the field, of course. Unless the opportunity presents itself, just push it round, rotate the strike.
Short. He's tall and he gets that little extra bounce, does Marco Jansen. He's got good numbers tonight. Jansen hasn't got a wicket yet, though. 14 dot balls. He's only gone for 16.
Yeah, I think the difficulty both from a playing perspective and a mental perspective, if you lose wickets and the new batter has to come in, it's going to be much more difficult for that person to get going. We've seen how it's been a bit of a challenging pitch with regards to the ball holding up. So these two, they've been at the crease for 18 deliveries now.
Looks for the Yorker.
And well bowled. It's a brave delivery because it's kind of been the back of the length where South Africa have hovered around. Deciding to venture up nice and full and executing perfectly.
Well, they haven't been still all night. My word, they've been partying all night. And what will it be when, if this is a heist in St. Vincent by Nepal over this superb South African side? Oh, it's a full toss and it's gone past the bat. 17 overs gone, 98 for 3. Tabriz Shamsi, as Sean Pollock was saying, has to bowl this over. Shamsi 2 for 17 in 3. $18 required from 18 in the match in New York against Bangladesh. South Africa defended 20 in the last 3 overs. Here 18 are required by Nepal.
What will Nepal's strategy be? Will they decide to try and take a risk against Shamsi? Will they look to go airborne, or are they just going to knock it around in his last over and make sure they see him off? Will they see him as a danger man?
Asif Sheikh, 22 years of age here, 41 from 46. One enormous 6 and 4 boundaries. He's worked so hard for this, for his country. He's come down the pitch, he's oozing confidence. He wants to steer Nepal home here.
Well, I think it's important for him to realize the fact that if he stays on and stays on till the very end, it's Nepal's games to lose. It will be so very crucial if he stays on, because not too many runs to score, and as you rightly pointed out, 42 or 47 is well set, but he needs to stay there.
Pitched outside leg stump. Quinton de Kock wants it. The umpire says you can have it. He's given the catch behind, and it's been reviewed straight away by Dipendra Singh Irie.
TV umpire director, we have a player review called behind. On-field decisions out. Check the bowler's feet, be a little bit on. Ball coming down. All right, pass it's close to the glove there by the looks. I'm going to need ultra edge, please. Thank you. Ultra edge coming up. Through, roll it through. Flat line. And thank you. I've got ball. Clear spike. Go back to the on-field umpire. Thanks. Joel, you can stay with your screen signal now.
Yeah, Joel Wilson was convinced it brushed that glove. Dipendra Singh Irie didn't want that decision to go their way, but it's gone. He's gone for 6. It's 99 for 4. And in comes now the left-handed 20-year-old Kushal Muller, who's not played first class, but in all the other formats he's got a century. That 137 not out in 50 balls against Mongolia last year, and his 100 was in 34 balls, that century. But now can he join Asif Sheikh to steer Nepal home here and make it their night in St. Vincent? Tabraiz Shamsi, when he came on, he changed things with a dramatic first over, picking up 2 wickets in his first. He's got 3 balls to complete his 4th. That brings up the 100 for Nepal. Psychologically, it'll do them a power of good.
Trying to play a shot down the leg side, trying to play that sweep. Just get the bottom part of the glove. Yes, he knew it. It's an important wicket and also an important over. He needs to finish off nicely here now. 16 from 14.
Yes, 16 from 14. Asif Sheikh on strike.
Yo!
Kushal Muller has come herring down from the non-striker's end.
There's 1 ball to go and he's lost 2 overs, and Markram has got some options. Will it be Rabada? Will it be Bartman? Will it be Nokia? Could even be Aidan Markram himself.
Oh, he's bowled him. Tabraiz Shamsi has weaved a spell of magic tonight against Nepal. That's his 4th.
Yeah, he has indeed, Wilco. He got 2 wickets in his first over, and now in his last over he's picked up another 2. Picked up the wickets of people who are set and had put on a bit of a partnership, and that's a great delivery. As it pitches, it rips in, goes between bat and pad, clatters into Asif's stumps, and he's off for his celebration, and so he should be. His performance tonight for South Africa has been fantastic. 4 overs, 4 for 19. Let's see if he goes for 42. It's 100 for 5.
Tabraiz Shamsi, 4 overs, 12 dot balls, 4 for 19. 16 required from 12 balls. New batter is Gulshan Jar. Strike rate is healthy, 136. He's got 150 in there. It's the first time that 12 wickets have gone to spin. All 12 have gone to spin in a T20 international in a match played in the West Indies. Aidan Markram, does he feel that the tide has turned South Africa's way?
And also the option, he's decided to go to Nokia. I suppose you could have gone to the option of Markram, 2 left-handers at the crease, but Nokia it is, so it's pace on. And that's a brilliant start. The South Africans are up for it in the field. They know every run is going to be vital. And what a great delivery this from Shamsi. Bit of turn, just clips the top of the off-stump bail, and he's off, and so he should be.
Yeah, I also thought that perhaps it was going to be Aidan Markram was going to bring himself on in the attack because of the 2 left-handers and the 2 new batters in the crease.
Bowled in! Nokia strikes, and the wickets are tumbling here.
Yeah, the South Africans in the crowd, they're elated, and it's a brilliant start to the over. 16 to defend off the 2 overs, and in the first 2 deliveries, Nepal unable to get anything away. Nokia goes for length. He might have thought Yorkers, but he didn't. He went for length, crashes into the top of middle stump, knocks the plastic off the top of it. And you can see how happy they are. They've now got belief that South Africa could hold their nerve and win this encounter against Nepal. Muller goes for 1, 100 for 6.
Sompal Kami is the new batter, 28 years of age. He's played some franchise cricket in the Canadian GT20. His highest score is 40 in T20Is. And
it's going to be a delay, Wilco, because that stump was broken, and this was the delivery that did the damage. Have a look at that plastic bit at the top of the stumps. That goes flying as well as the bails, and that was a hard length by Nokia, 144 kilometers per hour. And the decision to turn to him has worked for the captain Markram. South Africa now have 16 to defend of 10 deliveries.
But before that, that middle stump needs repairing. Could just feel when Nokia was bowling a little early, he was getting frustrated. He wasn't getting the ball to do, he wasn't getting things going his way. 115 for 7 was the South African score. Reza Hendricks with 43, Tristan Stubbs quick fire 27 not out. And in reply, at one stage Nepal were 100 for 4. They've just lost 2 wickets. It's 100 for 6. And the ICC Men's T20 World Cup continues tomorrow. We're hoping for good weather, better weather. It's been appalling down there in Florida. India against Canada. Today, of course, the United States, Ireland, that match was washed out. So it's India-Canada tomorrow in Lauderhill. Local time, it's a 10:30 start.
Yeah, the last 6 deliveries, South Africa has managed to pick up 3 wickets and giving away only a single run.
Well, they've held their nerve. Here's Nokia. Klaasen, Heinrich Klaasen, such these big names. Really, this has been for Nepal. They've been climbing their Everest of cricket.
Yeah, it's been an exciting World Cup from the perspective of there's been low scores that have been defended. 119 India versus Pakistan, 113 South Africa versus Bangladesh, and could it be 115 here tonight?
Oh gosh. You know, there are 8 peaks, mountain peaks over 8,000 feet in Nepal, and in terms of cricket, this would have been and still is Nepal cricket's highest. They're still on the mountain. Can they make the final summit? Oh my word, that is enormous. A magnificent strike from Sompal Kami.
Yeah, this is quality. This is a massive hit. I think that's over 100 meters. It's interesting, Nokia decided to go for a change-up. He had bowled 4 deliveries in the over, 141, 144, 145, 142. Then he goes for the back of the hand, 114. And Kami absolutely middles it in position. 105 meters, that could be the biggest that we've almost seen in the tournament. That was absolutely middled.
Is that the moment? Is that the game-changing moment? That is a big shot. That is a humongous shot.
Oh my word. The noise it made off the bat. It was out of this world. 10 from 7 required for Nepal. Nobody's moving in Kathmandu and Kirtipur. They're watching this. Sompal swings the bat again. He wants to. He's going back for the second. It's gone to the wrong end, you felt. Sompal's so quick. 19 gone, 1 over to go, 8 required from Nepal. Eight runs required, Athar Ali Khan.
7 for super over. They're having some great time. Full credit to Nepal. Good running, really good running. Coming back for the second, taking on the fielder. They can feel it. They're on the edge of creating some history here.
Well, this could be the party of all parties tonight. Nepal, they've had some magnificent days and evenings, nights in their history. They've never beaten a full member nation before. They're playing the mighty South Africans, who are already qualified.
Yeah, it's swinging back and forth here, isn't it, Wilco? I mean, they needed 16 of 10 deliveries, and at that stage you felt that South Africa were in charge. Then all of a sudden one disappears. They pick up 2 runs off the next delivery, 8 from 2, and now they need 8 from 6.
Bartman, last over. And Gulshan Jar cannot make contact. 8 from 5.
He needs to get a single. He needs to get Sompel on strike. He's been there for 4 deliveries and hit that massive 6. In South Africa, they'll be trying to get in as close as possible to make sure there's no easy singles and that the right-hander does not get on strike.
Well, Bartman is a relative newcomer to the South African Proteas. There's pressure on him to deliver here as well. Gulshan cannot afford to miss here. It's gone wide. Is it wide? Umpire, all eyes on the umpire. Joel Wilson keeps those arms behind his back.
It's 8 from 4. The first 2 deliveries have been dots. If you look at the field on the offside, 3 fielders are inside the circle. So he's probably searching to play a big shot. Yep, fair enough. Inside that blue line, so it's a fair delivery.
Sompal Kami just went down and had a word with Gulshan Jar. He's only 18 years of age. Cracks it over extra. It's 4. Gulshan Jar gets 4 for Nepal.
Yeah, that's a fantastic strike. He's missed the last 2, but he's absolutely middled that one. He's got it in front of square on the offside. He just needs one more of these smacks and it's over the line for Nepal. An historic moment could be unfolding right before our eyes.
Now that's the shot that I was exactly talking about, taking on the fielders on the offside. It was just a touch fuller and wider, and I hit that over the top of the cover fielder for a boundary. Great shot.
Make no mistake, Aidan Markram said at the toss, we've already qualified for the second round for the Super 8s, but we want to win this match. We respect our opponents. 4 from 3. Crack again. Is it going for 4? No, it's not. Reza Hendricks saves the boundary. 2 from 2 required for the most magnificent night in Nepal's cricket history.
The nerves, they're jangling. They can't bear to be seated in the Nepal dugout. The fans, they can't be seated either. There's a new belief. 16 from 10. They probably thought they were done and dusted. One massive hit out of the ground. They were back in the picture, and now just 2 runs away from history.
You're looking at an 18-year-old here. His heart rate, I dread to think what his heart rate might be. Nepal 2 from 2. Gulshan Jar on strike. Oh, it's well delivered. Oh, goodness me. Otniel Bartman, he can afford a smile. It's a nervous smile. We're down to the last ball. 2 wins it. 1 super over.
Any of those 2 is very much a possibility here.
Yeah, lots of discussion here between Otniel Bartman and Markram. What is the length he's going to bowl? The one that's been effective is the back of length, the short pitch delivery. Quinton de Kock is communicating, saying, come on, get to the stumps, everyone. They got to get 1 for a super over. Can they get 2 for a victory? It's all on the line.
2 required. Oh, it can't. Now then. Is he short of his ground?
I think he is.
Quinton de Kock has given it out himself. Joel Wilson says, we need to see this. Chris Brown is the TV umpire.
He throws it, it ricochets off the back. Klaasen gets it onto the stumps. Now we wait for the decision.
For a out. Bowler's end. Best side angle, please. You're coming up now. Short of the ground. You're short of the ground. Yeah, roll. Roll, please. Roll. Please, when it first lights up. Thank you. Batter is short. Freeze it there. Ready to make my decision for the big screen.
Heinrich Klaasen with a piece of magic, a backhand flick. has made the run out. Nepal was so close to the summit. They could see the summit. They couldn't quite get there. South Africa have held their nerve. They have won. They've beaten mighty Nepal by just one run. But my word, this night belongs to Nepal.
Yeah, it was a fascinating end to an exciting encounter. You do wonder, South Africa might have appealed the fact of obstructive running if they didn't manage to get the ball, but Klaasen held his nerve. The rebound came off the back of Gulshan. He got the ball in his hand, backhanded it onto the stumps, and you can see the emotion. They were on the verge of history. They were on the verge of beating South Africa. Unfortunately, just maybe a foot or two short of victory.
Yeah, so close yet so far. They made a great effort to get close to pull up their biggest win of their lives.
An evening that will linger long in the memories of all of us here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Nepal fans are upset. They are emotionally attached to this gallant Nepal side. It's the youngest squad in the tournament. Only one player over the age of 30. They're all in their 20s. There was an 18-year-old and a 20-year-old at the end, and this is the final moment, the final ball.